So, as you know, Hurricane Milton struck Florida's coast last night. Lots of damage. People have lost their lives. Millions still without power. Anyway, joining us now to talk a little bit about it, Florida Congressman Greg Steube and Mike Waltz, two good friends of ours. Mike Waltz, let me begin with you. I'm not sure where you are. Maybe you can tell us exactly. I'm not sure where Greg is either, for that matter. But how is it going? And insofar as recovery, which is really what we're hoping for as rapidly as possible, I remarked at the beginning of the show what a good job I thought Governor DeSantis was doing. And I wanted to ask you, if you agreed, number one, but what kind of a job relating to Governor DeSantis and expectations? How is FEMA doing in this? Mike Waltz, sorry.
Yeah, Larry. Well, I think I'm on the East Coast, so as you can see, we're still getting beat up a little bit with the outer bands as it exits, and we've got a couple 100,000 without power. But I think Governor DeSantis is doing a great job that builds on years of strong work from Governor Rick Scott, now Senator, and even back to Jeb Bush, who sustained 4 hurricanes just in the period of 2 months. This is years of investment. You have strong leadership. You have assets pre-positioned. And so, frankly, we need the money that the federal government can provide to reimburse our locals from FEMA. But Florida has this down. I mean, we have 5,000 National Guardsmen and women, our sheriffs, our state police and deputies, all ready to go. We've been hit hard, but we will recover. We will recover quickly. Even Florida Power and Light has 17,000 employees pre-positioned 24/7 with an army of trucks ready to get our economy back online. Larry, one thing to watch is fuel. 50% of Florida's fuel comes through the port of Tampa. That will need to recover quickly. And fortunately, Cape Canaveral, the SpaceX guys are saying that it did not sustain significant damage. So we can keep that Starlink up and keep our national security launches going.
You know, Greg Steube, Governor DeSantis, as Mike Waltz suggested, Governor DeSantis has used the National Guard. I also have been reading and following this as best I can. The governor has also organized and expedited as many utility people as possible, both from Florida and outside of Florida, to try and deal with the devastating power outages. I mean, nothing could be worse. I mean, losing one's life would be worse. But basically, power outages are crippling in an emergency like this. And also that Governor DeSantis has helped to organize just the police. He's gotten involved in making sure police placement, police cooperation, so that everybody is on the same page to the extent possible, Greg. I'm saying this because I try to look, you know, a lot of conservatives have criticized FEMA. They've criticized Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, and I'm sure they all deserve criticism. But out of these emergencies, Greg, sometimes, you know, there can be some bright spots, and it just seems to me like DeSantis is a bright spot. What you think?
Yeah, the state's done a really good job of allocating resources. There's 50,000 linemen, and I want to give kudos to President Trump, who put 300 of those linemen up at Trump Doral for free to stay before they would have to come out and come to the different places. Like in Sarasota, I had 200,000 without power first thing this morning. I'd say this morning, 75 to 80% of my district was without power. The eye came over my district. We rode it out here in Sarasota, so we experienced the forward end of the eye and the backward end of the eye. So we had 100-mile-an-hour winds going north and then 100-mile-an-hour winds going south after the eye passed us. So it's going to take us longer to recover here. We've got a lot of downed trees. I'm on generator power, which is how I'm able to communicate with you right now. But I have zero comm, so there is no cell service out here. A lot of people in Sarasota do not have cell service right now. A lot of people in my district do not have cell service, and same with power. But the state did a great job of staging those resources, 50,000 linemen, so that they would be ready to come as soon as possible. So they do it in those grids, and I know that they're working as hard as they can, as fast as they can, to get us back up on power.
Mike Waltz, I'm not fishing here. I just want you fellows are both on the ground. It's very important. Has FEMA done what FEMA should do?
Well, look, Larry, the difference with North Carolina is that so many things were pre-positioned. Things were pre-requested. Our state and local leadership, were really on top of their game. I don't think that was the case with North Carolina's governor. When you wait until 4 or 5 days until you're the throes of a disaster to request what you need, then that's what presents such difficult issues. Florida is way ahead of the game. You see those requests before the storm even hits. It's on the state and locals to make those requests before the federal government responds. And every single one of our 67 counties have emergency operations centers with everything from bridge inspectors, transportation experts, rail experts, port experts, hospital administrators. So this is really about leadership at the local level to tell the feds what you need.
Well, I suspect Florida is a very well-run state. I mean, that's what it sounds like. And that, as you say, will make all the difference in the world. And I'd rather, praise the good than knock the bad at this point in time. We just got to try to get through this. Greg Steube, Elon Musk and the Starlink receivers, has that played a role in this Florida hurricane?
I haven't seen that here on the ground in my district. I'd love to have some. If he's watching, he can send them, because I have zero connectivity. My staff has zero connectivity right now. So the way I'm working is I'm on a generator working on Wi-Fi. Thankfully, we have Ethernet, so I can text via the iPhone or I can email, but outside of that, I have zero cell service. So, hey, if he wants to come down and help us, I know he's helped the folks in North Carolina, but usually they have comms up. AT&T, Verizon has those up pretty quickly. They bring in these portable generators with portable towers, and they usually get us up in a couple of days. After Ian, it took me 5 days to get cell service back up. But one thing I just want to add real quick, and to add on to what Waltz had said, I still have Charlotte County, who is still owed money today from FEMA reimbursement from Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. So we have an administration that seems to be more concentrated on illegal immigrant housing than they are American citizens that need help.
Well, the other thing is, Greg, just on that point, we have learned in the last week or two or three that the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, actually rescinded monies that were going to go to Elon Musk's SpaceX and Starlink system. They all took them close to $1 billion was supposed to get there. They rescinded it. For some reason, they're intent on stopping Elon Musk, maybe because Musk is for Trump, or just I don't know what the reasons are. But, these Starlink receivers, they're just, I don't know, small wafer type things, as far as I understand it. They cost $300 each, but they work real fast. And I can't imagine why the FCC or the Homeland Security or anybody or FEMA would want to stop it. Or maybe just because it's Elon Musk. I mean, it's goofy to me, but that's what we're hearing.
Yeah, this is the most political and weaponized administration that we've had in the history of our country. Yeah. And that's why.
Go ahead, Mike Waltz, last one.
Now, Larry, Greg Steube's absolutely right. The lag time is years and years for FEMA to reimburse our locals. They're pushing that cash out of their budgets right out the door on day one to clean up debris and to take care of all the overtime of our first responders, make sure our hospitals are still running. And then it takes 5-6 years for FEMA to reimburse. And then secondarily, we're right up the street from Cape Canaveral, where SpaceX launches all those Starlink satellites. We'll take Elon and some of the receivers in Daytona, too. The more the merrier, and we deeply appreciate him.
All right, I bet you will. Thank you, gentlemen. Please be safe. Good luck on the recovery efforts. We appreciate it very much. Greg Steube, Mike Waltz.